Did you know there are more fake Rolexes in North America than there are real ones? I'm not kidding. There are millions of fake Rolexes and other luxury brand watches, and people buy them because they want to have that luxury feel, but they just don't have the money to buy those items. As a matter of fact, only 1% of the population can afford those type of watches. But what if I told you there was a company that is making a real luxury watch that you and I can afford? Well, if you'd like to learn more about what I have in this really nice box, keep watching because you're watching Blue Collar Guy. Okay, we're back. So today I have something very special, and it's kind of close to my heart because I didn't grow up a rich person. I grew up your average, poor kid, run-of-the-mill. Even my daily driver watch at work is a Timex because this is what I'm comfortable with. It represents who I am. Now, I fall in the category of about 15 to 20% of the population of this half of the world. In other words, North America. I live in Canada, but it's the same percentage for the United States as it is for Canada. So almost half of the people in Canada and the United States make less than $50,000 a year. 20%, which is my category, make between $50,000 and $70,000. And only a fraction of people make enough money to buy a Rolex or a Girard-Perregaux or a Philippe Patek or one of those type of watches. So what do the rest of us do? Well, unfortunately, this is why the counterfeit market is so huge. Because we want to have that luxury feel, but we don't want to pay the luxury price. We just like the look. It gives us a sense of style, and it gives us a sense of, we're doing good for ourselves. But the problem is when people start talking to us about these items, we're starting off with a lie. We're deceiving people. We're saying that it's real when in fact it is not. It's just nothing more than fake. And we deserve to have luxury in the income bracket that we can afford without having to go in debt, because some people will jack up all their credit cards, they'll buy something they can't really afford, and they're really living beyond their means. And then when other people meet them, they think they make a lot more money than they actually do. So what is the solution? Well, this particular company is from China. They've been around since 1993, and they've been making luxury watches in China for that period of time, and they're well known there for making a high quality product, but they're not known for all over the world. Now, what I have in this box is a true luxury item as far as I'm concerned. I've got this item here, and I want to show you what you could get for something that we can pay for, and we're going to get into the price of what this costs versus what it would cost to get something that this is inspired by. Here is the box, and it says Geya Moments for Life. Now, this company is a well-known watch manufacturer in China. And they don't make knockoff Rolexes. They've never made counterfeit watches. They make their own brand of luxury watch. Now, I'm going to move this up because I wanted to show you this little tab because it's got this really nice snap. It's like a magnetic type of snap. This thing is packaged beautifully. And I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. And I really want to show you what it looks like. Now, I've already opened this, so it's no surprise to me, but I did keep the theme so that you can see it for yourself. Now, here is the watch itself. Now, it comes with this type of band mounted to it, but I switched it because I wanted to see how easy it was to switch from this one to this one, and I also thought that this one felt more comfortable and it was more suited to my personality. Now, they do make different types of watches, and again, I found that this one is more my personality, and I'll just go back to me for a second. So just to let you know, because I do tech reviews and I'm all kind of geeky nerdy on that stuff, I wanted something that looked a little more futuristic. But I also picked something that I would actually buy. Because they did send me out this watch at no charge, I'm going to disclose that to you right now. Also inform them that I don't use paid affiliate links. So if you were to buy one of these, I don't get a commission and I don't want a commission. That helps me remain neutral as far as do I like it or not. I also don't accept sponsored videos. So they did not pay for the production of this video. Now this is a more expensive watch, so some could argue, well, the watch is the value of the video, but I just want to be clear, it's the best that I could do given that I am a product reviewer. And that most of the reviews that you watch about various products on TV are sponsored videos, and mine are not. Now, the other thing I'd like to let you know on a personal level is I don't do Patreon, I don't ask you to buy me a coffee, and I don't have membership fees for my YouTube channel. So if you're willing to watch the commercials and stuff all the way to the end, that's how I get paid, and that's pretty much it. I try to do my videos as impartial and as honest as I possibly can, and given the fact that I don't use paid affiliate links for any of my reviews, I think that that helps make me more neutral than other channels. And it does come with a warranty card and an instruction card, and this is important, and I'm going to go over how you set the watch and how it works, and there's also another instruction manual here. So we'll talk about that as well. This might not have been in the exact same order as when I got it because I did have to take it out and inspect it. But the box is absolutely beautiful. Now, I'm just going to move this out of the way and we're going to take a closer look at the watch. Now, one of the things that I found out about this watch, it is a hybrid watch.
More on that later, but first.
So I did a little bit of research on this watch, and it's actually an homage to a much more expensive watch. It's not a copy of it, it has its own sense of style, but it does have a similar theme, and I like this theme. It's kind of cool. You have to think of it in this way. You may have seen a movie about someone going to the moon, and there might be another movie about the same type of subject of somebody else going to the moon. These are two different subjects, they're two different perspectives, they're two different things, but it's the same theme. And that is where this falls into. This is a theme that is very similar to another watch from, I believe it's called Jacob and Company. And the reason why I would never buy that other watch is because it is $300,000. So the fact that they can make this watch for far less than $300,000, and I know you're going to say, well, what does this cost? We're going to get to that, so hang in there, but I guarantee this is a watch that you and me can afford to buy. That other watch is a pure mechanical watch. It also has some different materials than this one has, and we're going to get into that as well because we have to make some compromises when we're getting the price down. And sometimes you have to make some, decisions of, what would be too expensive for something like me? What is that breaking point? So what exactly is a hybrid watch and how does it work? Well, if you take a look at the top part of the watch, you'll see it has a mechanical movement. I'm just going to adjust it. You can see it moving around there. It does have, I believe it's a 21 joule movement. It might be a 17 joule movement. I don't know the exact specs on that, so don't quote me, but it does have a mechanical movement. And how you set that mechanical movement, you have to wind it on the back of the watch. So I'm going to show you that. So I'm just going to open this up. And I found that this particular strap was also more comfortable to wear. So if you look at the back of the watch, they have their name. This is another thing I want to point out, is that everywhere on this watch, they have their name branded. So they're not trying to impersonate any other company. They're saying, this is who we are, and this is what we make. So if you look at the watch here, you can see their name right here. I'm actually going to get a better shot over here. You can read it right there. You can see it right there. And on the back, you can also see it right here. And I'm going to just go back up here. Okay. Now, on the back of the watch here, you simply move this up. There's a little flap, and then you just wind it. And if you turn it about 18 times, that will be good for roughly 2 days. So it will last a long time. Now, it's not critical that you wind it. And in a way, it's very, very clever. And we're going to talk about that too. So when I wind the watch, it activates this movement here, and it also activates this planet here. There's a globe here that rotates. So there's things in here that are moving around, and that's what the winding mechanism controls. There's also a battery. So let me just zoom in a bit. Okay. So when I wind the watch, it activates this spring mechanism here, and you can see it moving, and it activates this rotating planet here. It slowly moves around in a circle. And it's got all of these other moving parts in here as well. But it doesn't work the clock. That's right. How is the clock working? Well, it's activated by a battery back here. So there's a battery in this watch way deep in there, and you can barely see it. They've hidden it very, very well. And that battery is good for 5 to 7 years, which is actually longer than a lot of more common watches like your Seikos, your Bulova, and those kind of guys. So that's what makes this a hybrid watch. Now, why did they do that? Well, the quartz movement, which is actually a pretty decent brand of quartz movement, will keep the time more accurate over here. So to have a very accurate timekeeping piece where this would be operating this and having it move everything else is one of the reasons why the other watch is $300,000, because it's a very complicated movement setup. And not only does it have to move everything, but it has to also keep proper time. And this is one of the reasons why they've split it up into 2 different power sources. So this way you have the benefit of having reliable time, and you also have the added functionality of this mechanical movement over here, which is really cool. Now, if you want to set the watch, you see this little button here? You just push that with the included screwdriver. You're simply going to push this in, and then you're going to see the hands rotating in a clockwise fashion. You wait till you get to your proper time, and then you just stop. And if you look closely here, it even says Geya here. Now, I'm going to get some macro shots so you can get a really close-up view of this watch. But right now, I'm just showing you, a basic overview. So if you were to buy one of these, it's going to cost you around $700, which actually is something that a blue-collar person like myself could actually afford to buy without putting myself in financial stress. But more importantly, it represents honestly who I am as a person. I am not a millionaire. I don't make $200,000 or $300,000 a year. So me having a $1,000 watch is quite reasonable. It's somebody that makes that level of income, this is what they would buy. And by the way, this is a high quality item. This is not a cheap watch. This thing has some weight to it, and we're going to get to that. This thing is 108 grams. This is not a light watch. There is some quality here. This bezel here, and I picked the stainless steel version, which is actually cheaper than the gold version, because this is the one that I would buy if I was getting a watch. I would not get the gold version because I like the look of this better. This is what I would get. In comparison, here is my trusty everyday driver, my trusty Timex, And, I used to have smartwatches, and I went back to this because I got tired of throwing my watch on the charger every day. I like a watch that runs on a battery. And, oh, let me just calibrate this again. 46 grams. So if you wanted to know if this was a cheap watch, it is not. Oh, we're at 106, so I guess there was a little bit of a difference. So we've got 2 inches across, and that's the same both ways. And from the back of the bezel here, from the back of the watch to the front of the dome, which is curved, it is 3/4 of an inch. So it is quite thick. Now, by comparison, if you look at it with your standard Timex, it is definitely, there's a huge difference in weight and height. Now, this is just a Timex watch, but I just wanted to give you something because we see these in Walmart. We know how big these are, and I wanted to show you what you're actually going to get size-wise. So if you're not too sure on the measurements, at least this will give you I'm using this as a frame of reference is what I'm getting at. I'm not using this as a comparison. This is just a frame of reference so that you can get a reference on the size. So if you wanted to put this band on the watch, and I've already switched it, you have these little pull tabs here, and they actually work really well. They go on and off the watch very easily, and they're easily to switch. I'm just going to demonstrate one just to show you. So if I just click this, there we go. Comes off like so. I take this one. Just gotta get my fingernail in there. I don't really have fingernails, but we'll try my best. Okay, and that's what that looks like when you have it on this. So if you like the worn leather look, you can have this style, and this is what it would look like. I'll just lay it over top there like so that you can get an idea of what it would look like there. So if you like that appearance better, you can. This is the way it comes, by the way. I switched it, but I just find that this watch strap is a little more comfortable for me. So I'm just going to remove this, and then I'm going to put the other one back on. And they do, I believe, have other straps, so if they wear out, you need to get one, you should be able to get one. I will confirm that with the company. So the next time you're in Walmart, look at one of those and you'll say, wow, this one's definitely going to be a lot bigger. And it definitely has a presence to it. So let's put it on the wrist. Goes on very easily. It's got 2 of these, which I like because that keeps them from getting undone. And that's what it looks like.
Alright, so let's talk about who this watch is really for. This isn't a Rolex, and it's not trying to be an Omega, and honestly, that's why I like it. This is what I call honest luxury. It's not a fake, it's not pretending, and I don't have to explain it to anybody. Now here's the truth. Most people aren't making $200,000 a year. Most people are in the $50,000 to $70,000 range, or even less. That's the real world. That's most of us. And we deserve to have something nice without going broke or trying to prove something to somebody. Because let's be honest, you can go out and buy a $5,000 watch, put it on a credit card, wear it to impress people, but now you're not representing who you really are. That's not confidence, that's pressure. Or even worse, you buy a fake. Now you're starting off as a fraud. And if someone asks about it, now you've got a story to maintain. That's not a good place to be. This watch sits right in the middle. It's an homage design, not a replica. It takes inspiration from high-end watches, but it uses its own name, its own identity. So when someone asks about it, You can just hand it to them and say, yeah, this is what I wear. No explanation needed. And trust me, this thing starts conversations. People notice it. They want to look at it. They want to touch it. And now you're talking naturally. And here's the part that matters to me. When I wear this, I'm not pretending to be rich. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm just wearing something that I like, that I can actually afford. No debt, no regret, no buyer's remorse. And if I meet somebody, they're meeting me, not some image I'm trying to sell. And that's how I build something real. Now, yeah, it's not perfect. Mineral glass, not sapphire. Water resistant, not waterproof. But it's got weight. It's well presented. And it does exactly what it's supposed to do. You got quartz reliability with a mechanical look that actually stands out. And at the end of the day, this isn't flexing. It's about being comfortable with who you are. And for me, that's worth a lot more than some fancy logo.
So this company also makes different styles of watches. So if you're not into this style, just to let you know, they make other styles of more traditional watches as well. So I would still encourage you, I'm going to put their website so that you can check out all of their watches and see which one suits your personality. Just because this one suits my personality doesn't mean that this is necessarily going to suit yours, but this one definitely strikes up a conversation without a doubt. So I would really like to thank Geya. This was a real honor and a privilege to do this review. At first I was skeptical, but now I would like to tell them that if they have any other watches that they would like me to review, I'd be more than happy to take a look at them. It would be an honor and a privilege because I could not get over not only the unboxing, but the quality of the items that they're producing. So take care, be safe at work, and I will see you at the next video. Bye.